Hey there, welcome back to my channel. My name's Noel Lorenzana. I'm a CPA and my channel is all about simplifying taxes for individuals and small business owners. In this video today, I want to talk about why you probably do not want to self-prepare your S Corporation tax return or any business tax return for that matter. I have, for demonstration purposes, a redacted self-prepared S Corporation tax return. It's full of mistakes and omissions. I know the person who prepared it meant well and probably tried his best, but that old saying that you don't know what you don't know applies to tax return preparation. After all, how do you know if something should be there that isn't there, right? So with that being said, let's dive right in and I'll talk through this tax return and let you know what I think. All right, so here we have an 1120S income tax return for an S Corporation for the tax year 2020. The information has been redacted, so there shouldn't be any personal or identifying information for the taxpayer here. For the top section here, you have the relevant information like name, address, selection effective date, employer identification number, date incorporated, total assets, etc. Line I here, we can see that there's one shareholder during the tax year. Over here, we have income. So for the tax year 2020, they showed no income whatsoever. They reported zero. Now, that was the start of the pandemic, so it's not unusual to have maybe no income for that year, but I believe there should have been income, and I'll come back to this later. Moving on. This section here is deductions. This is where you'd list your business deductions. So they've indicated on line 11, rents, $587, that's an expense. Line 19, other deductions, $47,663. And you'll see that on the next page, that was for vehicle expense. Okay, so it's a bit unusual to have such a large expense like that without any corresponding income. So nevertheless, their total business loss is $48,250. And because this is an S Corporation, that amount will flow to the individual's personal tax return. Okay, so let's move on. So that other deductions from the previous page was for vehicle expense, $47,663. Okay, so maybe they bought a vehicle but didn't drive it. It's possible, but unlikely. But let's move on. So page 2 of the tax return starts with Schedule B. This is other information. You indicate your accounting method. That's accrual. You answer all these questions. They're generally no for a lot of people until you get to the question on line 11 for this tax year asks, does the corporation satisfy both of the following conditions? A, the corporation's total receipts for the tax year were less than $250,000. B, the corporation's total assets at the end of the tax year were less than $250,000. If yes, the corporation is not required to complete Schedules L and M1. Okay, so it's not required, but it's always a good idea to prepare it for the sake of completeness. If I have the information, I always like to prepare it. It ties everything out, and it's a much cleaner and neater tax return. Trust me. So moving on. Okay, Schedule B continues. Schedule K, shareholders pro rata share items. So they have a business loss of $48,250. As I've said earlier, flows to their personal tax return. Okay, page 4, Schedule K continued. And it continues with Schedule L, balance sheet per books. So this is where you could list out the assets, liabilities, and shareholders' equity, beginning of the year, and the end of the tax year. So although not required, it's always a good idea to complete this as long as you have the information, and all businesses are required to have a proper set of books, especially corporations. Okay, so moving on to page 5, Schedule M1. This is not required for this tax return, but this is where you would reconcile the net income per books that would be on line 1 to line 8, which would be the net income or loss per the tax return. So it's basically reconciling the book reported income or loss to the tax reported income or loss. So down here we have Schedule M2. Since Schedules L and M1 weren't required, this should have been left blank in my opinion. But that's fine, I guess. So Schedule K1, this is what is given to the shareholders of S corporations. This tells them what to pick up as income and other items for their tax return. So in this case, we can see up here on Part 3, Line 1, they have an ordinary business loss of $48,250. And that would flow to their personal tax return, but it would only be allowed if the shareholder had sufficient shareholder basis. And it's required now. And I was looking for it on this tax return, but I didn't find it. And like I said, this is a self-prepared tax return. So without knowing the shareholder basis, you can't take that $48,250 loss on your tax return. So I don't know if they did or they didn't, but that's just a big FYI. Shareholder losses are limited to shareholder basis. So moving on, we have Form 4562, Depreciation and Amortization. This is where you would list out or calculate the depreciation, or summarize it rather. Page 1 is zeros. Page 2, Part 4, they do have some listed property here. You can see over here on line 26, it says 26-foot box, placed in service January 1st, 2020. Business use percentage, 94.87%. But there's no other information. There's no cost basis. There's no basis for depreciation. There's no recovery period, no recovery method, and there's no depreciation deduction. So either it was incomplete or this should have been left off altogether. But okay, that's fine. But moving on to Section B, information on use of vehicles. Line 30, they've indicated total business miles driven during the year, 37,000. So they're indicating that they drove 37,000 miles for their business. But if you remember, on page 1, there was absolutely zero or no reported income. So to me, this raises a big question mark, if you will, because how can you drive 37,000 business miles but not generate any income? So that tells me there's something wrong. Bottom line, there's a lot of things missing, probably unintentionally, from this tax return. And it just goes back to the old saying that you don't know what you don't know. So this person, I'm sure he's a nice guy. I'm sure he meant well, but he had no business, in my opinion, preparing this tax return. TurboTax can only get you so far, and garbage in, garbage out. If you don't know what to put in, you're gonna get garbage out. If you know how to use it, then great, you can prepare a perfectly accurate and complete tax return. But for the average person who doesn't know about business taxes, you're costing yourself more problems than the potential savings that you think you might have had. the IRS ever looks at this tax return or his personal tax return, I'm pretty sure he's going to have problems. But anyway, that's my video on why I believe you shouldn't self-prepare your S corporation or business tax return if you don't have enough knowledge or experience in doing so. Agree, disagree, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thanks so much for watching my video, and if you could, hit the like button and subscribe if you want more content like this one. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video.